One. All right, our final interview of the day is Speaker Beth Harwell. She has been in this State House, how many years has it been?
28 years.
28 years. And you just started that way, and then you have accomplished so much. You're the first women Speaker of the House in the state of Tennessee.
Yes, indeed. I'm honored that my colleagues would allow me to have this position.
Gotcha. Now, over these years, what do you think your major accomplishments have been?
You know, I think the thing I'm most proud of is the great improvement we are making in education in this state. It was something that actually brought me to public service to begin with. What most folk might not know that is you serve on 2 committees in the General Assembly. And I always rotated one of my committees so that I would learn the most I could about state government. I've been on transportation, finance, commerce, you name it. But there was one committee I never rotated off of, and that was education. Because I knew, and it wasn't always the most fun committee to serve on, but I will tell you, I knew that it was the most critical issue facing our state. And to move from being the bottom to now the fastest improving in the nation, I think it says a lot about our remarkable teachers, the high standards we've put in place, and the accountable system.
Wow. All right. Any other things that over the years that you felt we've overcome?
You know, I'll tell you, the very fact that we balance our budget every year, we kind of take it for granted, like, oh, well, we have to. Well, you know, we do it the right way. We do not go into deficit spending. We're the lowest debt state in the nation. We have lowered our taxes 3 times since I've been Speaker, and yet we fully fund the basic necessities of state government. So I'm very proud of the fact that we've got our budget going in the right direction.
Okay, this year, we were talking about earlier, this is the last year that you're going to be here as Speaker, and you are not running for re-election.
No, I'm not.
For your State House seat. You're running for governor. So this last year, do you have any goals and expectations?
Well, again, I go back to we balance our budget, first and foremost. I never will lose sight of fiscal responsibility. And second, I think we will see continued movement on how to address the opioid crisis. It is indeed a crisis not only here in Tennessee, but across the nation. And that will be a priority on some of the pieces of legislation you see passed this year. Okay,
now some of the hot topics that I've heard earlier today, medical marijuana seems to be a big one. How do you feel about that?
Well, you know, my task force has worked on that. There will be a piece of legislation this year introduced. I have kept a very open mind, and I've come to the conclusion that I'm for prescription medical marijuana if it's handled correctly for the right diseases, certainly not for recreational use.
Absolutely. All right. Any other hot topics that you see coming across your desk?
Well, there are usually always 1 or 2 that will pop up, but I think that hits most of them.
That is all interesting. All right. So this is your last year. You're going to be running for, or you are running for, the governor of the state of Tennessee. What led you to that decision?
Well, I love this state, and I think I've been a part of, in this leadership role, some of our most successful and boldest initiatives as a state. And I would like to continue that service to our great state. I believe I have a working experience in state government. I know how to work with the legislature, and I would really love the honor to be blessed to serve as governor.
Outstanding. All right, any last words to our viewers out there?
Just welcome, and please come down. We're in new facilities, and there's plenty of room for the public to sit in the committee rooms and hear what's going on, so we welcome everyone to come.
Outstanding. Thank you so much, Speaker.
Thank you.